12 News Weekend, the pitch to grow baseball in Brooklyn Center. We'll meet a group of dedicated parents helping to revive America's national pastime. And then later, a vacation that takes us to the farm.
I don't want my kids to be in their 20s and to say, gosh, I wish I'd done this.
Meet a New Hope family taking a unique trip west. But first, how much do you pay for rent? A new report shows just how costly it is for renters in the northwest suburbs. 12 News Weekend starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us on 12 News Weekend. A new report shows rental prices in Minneapolis and the surrounding suburbs are rising more quickly than the national average.
The suburb with the highest rent is right here in the Northwest Metro. The city of Plymouth has a plethora of amenities, everything from parks to shopping to the educational reputation of the Wayzata School District. But according to a report from apartmentlist.com, if you want to rent an apartment here, it'll cost you. The report found that Plymouth is the most expensive of the Twin Cities suburbs. A one-bedroom apartment costs $1,140, whereas a two-bedroom costs $1,330 on average.
We've seen rent go up and much faster than renter incomes now for well over a decade.
Chip Halbach is executive director of the Minnesota Housing Partnership. He says rent is high not only in Plymouth, but across the Twin Cities.
And there's just a variety of reasons. There's more renters out there that are driving demand. At the same time, the supply isn't keeping up with that demand.
Vacancy rates across the metro are right around 3%. And even with new developments in the works, such as the Plymouth Flats near Highways 169 and 55, renters looking for more affordable options won't see the situation improving much.
The market's really able to respond, but only at the high end. So that will be that continued push for more and more rental housing without the supply, except at the high end to keep up with that push.
Halbach says the average rent across the metro area is in the $1,000 a month range. To afford that, your income should be about $40,000 a year.
So there's a lot of people out there that don't have that income, and that's part of the problem we're facing.
However, he did say there is some positive news coming from local governments.
So there's more city councils, county boards, et cetera, saying, yeah, we should do something about that and make sure that we are providing the range of housing.
While Plymouth has the highest average rent among suburbs, you'll find the lowest rent in Brooklyn Park. The median price for a two-bedroom apartment there is $920.
Brooklyn Park is thinking big, and we're talking Major League Soccer big.
We have major highways. We have infrastructure there and coming, and we would have transit. We have all the pieces necessary to make this a major league location.
Councilmember John Jordan believes Brooklyn Park may be the right fit for a pro soccer stadium for the Minnesota United. Major League Soccer has given the team's ownership group a July 1st deadline to figure out a stadium deal. The idea came up in Brooklyn Park as the city considers forming a task force to look at where to build a large park for festivals and amplified music. The stadium site under consideration is vacant farmland north of 610, west of the Target campus. The Minnesota United have not commented on the Brooklyn Park idea yet. The franchise has had its sights set on Minneapolis on a place near Target Field. Those plans, though, have been stalled because the state legislature didn't act on tax breaks the ownership group says it needs for the project.
The city of Maple Grove is also thinking big. The city will soon look at plans for luxury apartments in the Arbor Lakes shopping area. Doran Company is proposing nearly 700 apartments at the northwest corner of Elm Creek Boulevard and Hemlock Lane. The proposal, called the Village at Arbor Lakes, also includes hotels, retail, and restaurant space. It's the kind of proposal the city has been looking for at that site. The city previously turned down a different developer's plan because that proposal included too much retail and not any housing.
In our weekend review, Golden Valley is considering not one but two apartment projects. The first, called Liberty Crossing, would involve tearing down the VFW and three other buildings near Medicine Lake Road and Winnetka Avenue. They would be replaced with more than 60 townhomes and a 5-story, 184-unit apartment building. Another apartment project is taking shape along Highway 55, just east of 169. That proposal would tear down a vacant bowling alley and a small office building. Meanwhile, the Wayzata School District is down to 4 choices in naming its new elementary school now under construction. The 4 finalists include Fox Ridge, Meadow Hill, and Marsh View. The school board is expected to make a decision at its July 13th meeting. The new $26 million building is scheduled to open in the fall of 2016. And the city of New Hope has approved a utility rate increase to fix a water pipeline that has broken twice and flooded local streets. The pipeline goes through Robbinsdale but serves New Hope, Crystal, and Golden Valley. Crystal also recently adopted an increase, and Golden Valley is expected to follow suit. The repair is expected to cost more than $4 million. A historic U.S. Supreme Court ruling has same-sex couples in the Northwest Metro celebrating.
It's amazing. It's just astounding. So quick.
Howard Hallen never thought he would see nationwide marriage equality in his lifetime. He and his husband Douglas were among the first couples to be married when Minnesota passed same-sex marriage 2 years ago. With their marriage came the same financial and legal protections offered to heterosexual couples.
The repercussions of something happening to one of us was huge, and so it really was a liberating thing, and it also created security for my whole family.
Until Friday's 5-4 high court decision, same-sex marriage had been banned in 13 states. This fall's special election to replace Representative Ryan Winkler only includes one candidate. DFLer Peggy Flanagan of St. Louis Park is the only candidate to register with the Minnesota Secretary of State's office. Flanagan was endorsed by Winkler, who is leaving his House seat for a move to Belgium, where his wife accepted a new job. Well, coming up on 12 News Weekend, a group of dedicated volunteers who are keeping America's pastime alive in Brooklyn Center.
And then later in sports, a former Cooper basketball star learns where he'll start his NBA career.
But first, our pattern of warm sunshine is expected to continue. A thunderstorm or two could pop up on Monday.
Welcome back, everyone. The Brooklyn Center Little League has dealt with its fair share of challenges.
Declining participation over the years and a problem with illegal dumping on their property are just a few. But the all-volunteer organization is slowly making a comeback, getting the word out about why youth baseball still matters. Here's Alexandra Renslow.
This league has been here for over 50 years.
The crack of the bat and the cheers of the crowd mark the 56th season for the Brooklyn Center Little League.
All right, Elijah, come on, let's see the strikes, buddy. One more.
From where Darren Brazil stands,
Good inning, guys. You stopped him. You stopped him. Nice pitching, buddy.
this coach and parent has a pretty good sense of the league's history.
Started playing here when I was, about 6, 7 years old. Played for the Brooklyn Center Tigers.
Back then, there was probably 300 to 500 kids in the organization.
It's a league that in 1994 even made a run to the Little League World Series.
Hey, you two both got hits. I'm proud of you. Good job.
But after years of declining numbers with fewer kids and parents to fuel this all-volunteer league,
we asked for the parents to help clean the fields. We asked for the parents to help with concessions, coach the teams, everything.
there's now a bright spot for the Brooklyn Center Little League. The families are slowly starting to come back.
We've been trying to build it back up. It's like, oh, hey, it's a fun team. It's a fun place to come to, you know.
This year, they merged into one league, eliminating what used to be 2 separate leagues. Close to 140 kids are playing this year. That's up from 85 last year.
I get to be with my friends and I get to be active and just really fun.
Getting better at different things like catching or like throwing.
Good job, guys.
As Brooklyn Center mounts a comeback, Darren Brazil knows there's life lessons learned through Little League.
Discipline, hustle, just respect for one another. Respect your fellow teammate, respect the other team, cheer them on.
The Brooklyn Center Little League wraps up its season this weekend. Registration for next year begins in January. Shannon, you and Dave have a couple little ones. Maybe that'll be you one day volunteering.
That would be fun. I've coached a team before a few years ago, and nothing's more exciting than seeing the kid finally catch a ball you've been working on all season.
Stay tuned,
Lots to
everyone.
be seen.
Well, coming up, an adventure on the farm. We'll show you a unique vacation that's taking a New Hope family out west.
But first, local football teams sharpen their skills at summer 7-on-7 leagues. That's coming up in sports with Jay Wilcox.
Welcome back. Jay's here now at sports, and there's a lot of excitement around here with the NBA draft, including a local kid who had some reasons to be happy.
Yeah, he's been a big talent for a long time and kind of a dream come true, really, too. Well, the Timberwolves selection of Karl Anthony Towns and the trade for former Apple Valley and Duke star Tyus Jones made the most headlines here. It was also a big night for former Cooper star Rashad Vaughn.
With the 17th pick in the 2015 NBA Draft, the Milwaukee Bucks select Rashad Vaughn.
Yes, he is a first-rounder. Vaughn will move one state east after the Bucks made him the 17th pick in the NBA Draft. Vaughn played through his junior season of high school at Cooper before playing for a prep school in Las Vegas as a senior. He played one season at UNLV before a knee injury ended his season. Rashad reportedly had some good workouts for a few NBA teams, so he moved up to near the middle of the first round. With our short golf season here in Minnesota, summer is a busy time for charity golf tournaments. The 8th annual Greg Jennings Celebrity Golf Classic was held at Rush Creek in Maple Grove this week. Jennings was a Vikings wide receiver for 2 seasons who signed as a free agent in the offseason with the Dolphins. Jennings says though his employer is now in Florida, he hopes to keep the tournament at Rush Creek.
Yeah, that's the game plan. This is home. My wife and I wanted to make sure, because of, you know, the releasing from the Vikings, that the community knew that it's greater than football. Like, football is great, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't change who we are and what we're trying to do throughout the community and within the community.
Both current and former teammates of Jennings came out for the tournament and celebrity shootout, like Vikings wide receivers Charles Johnson and Adam Thielen, and Dolphins tackle Billy Turner, who is from Mounds View High School. Money raised goes to support youth helped by the Greg Jennings Foundation.
For us, it's about empowering youth through education. Sometimes that takes the financial backing so that they can have the things, the supplies that they need, the tools that will allow them to achieve and attain their goals.
Greg does a great job in the community and getting people from the area that are supporting his foundation, and he gives back to the community as well. So it's a good event, and I'm excited to be out here. It's my second year doing this, and you know, it's just nice to be able to support Greg.
Jennings signed a 2-year contract with the Dolphins in April after spending the first 9 years of his career with the Packers and then the Vikings. We're less than 2 months away from the start of high school football practice. Summer leagues are now a big part of this sport too. It's become a summer staple for most local football teams. 7-on-7 summer passing leagues like this one hosted by Maple Grove are a vital part of building for the fall.
Yes, sir. I think it's very important just to give everyone confidence. You know, we don't have pads on yet, but just for the receivers and I to read coverages and read defense and just get comfortable with each other, it's really important.
Yeah, it gets you really ready for the season, like passing-wise, for sure. Defensively, I think it just makes us more sound, and like we get to know each other better, and like how we play with each other. And then for our offense, is a huge help with the passing game, obviously, since we're probably a little more of a running team, but it's really useful during the season.
It's all about the passing game with no running plays and no tackling. At first glance, you might think it's all about the offense, but it's great for defensive players too.
I think it's a really good challenge. I mean, there is obviously, like everyone knows, that there's no pass rush in 7-on-7, but I think it's a really big help when you just got man-on-man, and it really shows you like you have to work hard when you're playing defense. And
with our defense, the biggest thing that we preach is being able to communicate and learning their spacing. And so I just got done talking to the kids about learning how to not be church mice and actually be able to speak and tell their players where everybody is.
Besides pads and helmets, there's something missing here. The big guys on the line.
I don't know if it's left out. I think they're more just jealous that they can't get out here running routes. I think that's more of it, but they have other stuff that they can do during practice that our coach has them doing. So.
Armstrong, Providence Academy, Rogers, and Cambridge are also part of the league at Maple Grove. Winning isn't everything here, but it can be a stepping stone to fall success, individually and as a group. The Maple Grove 7-on-7 Passing League runs Mondays through July 20th, with the exception of July 6th, which is a blackout week for all high school football teams. So a little hint of what's to come in the fall when you get out there.
Be here before we know it.
That's right.
Thanks, Jay.
Well, up next, a unique way to experience the country and not worry about hotel fares.
We'll explore the idea of woofing when we come back. Pick up a book, drop off a book. That's the idea behind little free libraries that have popped up in many neighborhoods.
Robbinsdale will soon have one with an artistic touch.
This is one of the walls that will go on the piece. These are actually 4 tiles, larger tiles.
Artist Landis Schultz of Crystal has been commissioned to build a bigger version of the little libraries, this one for the Robbinsdale Plaza. The structure has 2 doors, one for books and one for games such as checkers and chess. The 8-foot-tall library will have a mythical theme with dragons and wizards and other illusions and surprises that may take you several visits to discover.
Every time you go back, you probably find something a little different. And especially with all the critters and creatures and things that are going to be embedded in it, so to speak.
The little library will be finished and ready for the Robbinsdale Plaza by July 6th. A New Hope family will have quite the story to tell classmates when they get back to school in the fall.
Not only will the family get to travel all through the West, but they'll farm along the way. There's only a few more days on the calendar.
Supports in here and hula hoops because you can't travel without hula hoops.
Before Joanna Tolino-Bakken and her 3 kids set out on a summer adventure.
Through Wyoming and then Montana and then through Washington, down through Oregon, down into Northern California, and then back. We'll probably go through Salt Lake City and then north into Idaho.
Along the way, they'll camp in national parks.
We'll see how this works.
And spend time at organic farms.
We'll be there for a week and we'll woof there for a week.
You heard that right, they'll woof.
Woofing is worldwide opportunities on organic farms. So it's an opportunity for people to work on organic farms and not only learn from the experience, but from the ranchers, from the farmers.
They'll work on organic farms in exchange for room and board.
I'm always talking to them about where the food comes from and how animals are treated, but I want them to really see it and to experience it and to learn about alternative forms of energy.
The family has work days planned at several farms.
We'll come back through Idaho. There's another farm that we might stop and do some more woofing at.
Where Mom Joanna hopes her kids become more connected to the food they eat and the work required to produce it.
Kids do really well when they're exposed to differences and they learn from other people and they get the opportunity to work with other people at a young age. So I just think everybody should be brave and do something that they're really excited to do.
And woofing might be more popular than you think, too. There are more than 1,400 registered woof farms in the U.S., but you can also woof it worldwide, too. Australia and New Zealand also have a high number of woof farms. So there you go. Summer vacation, would you do it?
No, but to visit Australia, New Zealand.
As long as there's a Holiday Inn involved, maybe.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
All right, we'll see. That's all the time we have for now. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Have a nice weekend. We'll see you on Monday.